Alright, man, this is what I'm gonna say, this is what I'm gonna say. Get you focused in, hey man, let's get it. This is what I'm gonna say. Get you dialed in, monkey in a ride. Listen, man, get you focused in, hey man, let's get it. Listen, man, get you dialed in, monkey in a ride. Man, this is what I'm gonna say. Get you focused in garage gym horny mode. Get you dialed in, monkey in a ride. Listen, man, get you focused in, hey man, let's get it. Listen, man, get you dialed in, monkey in a ride. Man, this is what I'm gonna say.
What up, what up? It's Garage Gym Homie, and today I'm talking about does sex, porn, masturbation, infidelity get in the way of our gains? Is it worth it? Before we get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out all the dang time for you. So click subscribe. And let's get into this, man. God bless all you homies. I hope you're feeling amazing. Living from your heart, man. Staying out of your head. And, you know, it has been, I would say, over 3.5 years. I'm trying to think. It's got to be over 3.5 years now since... I've masturbated or watched porn. I swore it off and made a contract with God that I would never watch porn again, and that I would never jerk off again. And I've stuck to that contract, and I'll never go back. It's not even a thought or anything. I never think about it. I could never imagine, there's no way I could turn on porn today. No way in heck, and be able to watch it. Because I know first of all, I've withdrawn from all of that, man. And, you know, the question that a lot of people, it's highly searched, does sex get in the way of gains? And I'm going to answer that question the best way that I can. Every decision that we make does one of two things. Every decision. It either gets me closer to God or further away from God. It gets me closer, and when I say God, let me rephrase it. If you're not a God person, every decision we make gets us closer to our true self, who we are to the core, or further from that. And porn, masturbation, cheating on your girlfriend or your wife or husband or whatever, that gets me further from God. There's absolutely no way around that. You know, I used to say that I unapologetically have the opinion that porn is toxic. And there's absolutely no healthy way to watch two prostitutes have sex with each other and think that that's spiritually okay. The further I get into my spiritual journey, the less I apologize for my opinion. You know, at one point I would have said, well, everything's between you and God, and I don't believe that in this case. I believe that there is absolutely no healthy way to watch porn. I don't care what science said. I see it all. The science says healthy couples can watch porn together and it could strengthen. It's all BS. When we're giving away our seed and we're giving away our, mindlessly, and there's no, it's like our lowest inhibition, it weakens us. The things that we do when we're indulging, and we're not conscious about what we're doing, that weakens us. And that takes away from our drive, and it's bad for our soul. And it is absolutely bad for your gains. Since I've stopped jerking off, watching porn, I have felt, I can't tell you how much sharper. Now, that doesn't mean I've built more muscle. You know, most of my muscle was built before that, but I feel better about my workouts. My training is better. My day-to-day, I don't have the brain fog anymore. When I was jerking off toward the end, I was so in tune with my body because I was in such a spiritual place, and then I would do it, and the next day I would have this brain fog. And I looked it up, and it was like all these people reported on it. Brain fog after jerking off. Like I almost felt not sick, but just not good the next day. Because I knew, it was like God was talking, it was like I was listening to my heart, and I knew in the deepest place in my heart, I was done, man. It wasn't right. And I come from the porn industry. I was in it over 6 years. I dated one of probably the world's most famous porn star for 2 years straight. At the time, she was. And I mean, she was the #1 girl on Brazzers, Bang Bros, Naughty America, all those sites. You went and you looked up their girls. She was the #1. So I've been deep in the industry. I used to bring girls in the industry. I used to hook them up with agents. I've done all sorts of things in the porn industry. And I'm not telling you that to brag or to sound cool. I'm telling you that so you understand where I came from. And there's absolutely nothing cool about it. It's absolutely toxic. I was sick. The way I lived was disgusting. And the way that I portrayed myself to my family and the people around me, trying to be Mr. Cool Guy, was disgusting. And that's not the way I live today. I'm a person who, I mean, even when I started dating Stephanie, and I was still talking to other girls because we hadn't fully committed yet, I was starting to have like panic attacks. I used to be able to play girls, talk to 15 of them, and it was effortless. There was nothing that, because the way I lived was not godlike. There was nothing spiritual about the way I lived. So the point is this: anything that we do that gets us further from God is bad for our gains. And gains doesn't just mean how much muscle you have. I mean, how you feel about your training. You know, I mean, how sharp do I feel? How driven am I? How motivated am I? I couldn't be putting my heart, when we're jerking off, we're watching porn, we're cheating on our girlfriends or wives or whatever the heck, we're using our drive toward things that are unproductive when we could be using our drive toward productive things. This YouTube channel, my training, my actual career, being a good role model to the 2 young girls in my life. I can't be a good role model when I'm watching porn behind the scenes. You know, you got to understand, what we do when no one's looking is a real big checkpoint of where we're at spiritually. Just because we act a certain way when people are watching, how do you look when no one's watching? You know, how do you act when nobody's watching you? Because, I mean, God's always watching. I can't watch porn behind closed doors, and I'm sitting there thinking, God knows what, deep down in my heart, I know how it is. Man, that brain fog has been lifted. That freaking feeling where my drive is missing. I mean, I always loved working out, and I've been an addict with it since sobriety. But there's been an extra layer of sharpness and drive since I stopped jerking off and watching porn. And I'm going to tell you this: having sex doesn't give me the same brain fog and lack of drive and motivation that porn and jerking off did, because the way that I act sexually, I'm okay between me and God. Now that's between you and God, your sex life. Look, man, we both know there's no way to cheat on a girl and this and that. And I cut out friends recently who I don't even talk to some friends anymore who I did because they cheat on their girl. They think it's cool to play 100 girls. And I just don't want anything to do with that. You know, they're still telling me, oh, I'm seeing this girl, that girl. You know, one of them was a married man and talking to all these girls and thinking like it's cool to tell me, and I'm thinking that's that's not the way I live, homie. Like, why do you think that's cool? Like I was in high school. I'm cutting people out, man, who are on a weird path that I don't want to be a part of. I want peace in my life. I think it's cool. What I used to think was cool, man, was playing women, talking junk, slut, whore, this, that kind of language, talking. Now people who are trying to get close to God and help other people, that's what's cool, man. So that's what I want to be surrounded with. You know, if you're somebody, so at the end of the day, man, sex doesn't do for me what jerking off and porn did, but sex would if I was doing it mindlessly with somebody who I didn't love. I mean, sex would have the same effect because it all comes down to our relationship with God. And when I'm doing things that get me further away from God, it's bad for your gains, man. It takes away from your drive and your sharpness because it's not good for your soul. I'm not as well rested. I'm not as focused. There's something missing. And I feel complete now, man, that I've given up. So I suggest to everybody, man, I don't know the numbers, how many people actually, what percentage of men watch porn. I think some guys find it like unbelievable that somebody doesn't watch porn. I think some guys are like blown away by that. So look, man, the way that I overcame, and not only that, I used to have absolutely terrible fantasies that I indulged in from being with from dating porn star, from being with hookers, from doing this and that, being in the porn industry. Screwed my mindset up. Even in sobriety, I would freaking jerk off thinking about shooting some chick up with meth and watching her get banged or something crazy, dude. Because my head was so screwed up from the crystal meth lifestyle and the porn lifestyle that I had to, it was like PTSD. It was like traumatic for me to cope with dating with a girl who I was in love with, who was banging other guys. So I had to make it right in my head, so I fantasized about it. I had to do a lot of work in sobriety. I continued to fantasize about that. And I got to the point where I could not continue to jerk off and watch porn and sleep with random women without indulging in that. It was all or nothing. I'm either going to be who I am to the core and act the way and not indulge in this stuff and work on it, and it takes work. I had to go to God every day. God, please give me a healthy sexual mindset. Please, God. And continue to pray and pray. But it wasn't just praying, man. Faith without works is dead. I had to take action. I had to take the step and walk hand in hand with God and delete the links on my computer, moms teaching teens, couples bang the babysitter, all that stuff that I was obsessed with. I'd jerk off in motels for 3 days straight on crystal meth when I was, by myself or with a chick, whatever it was. All that stuff that I was indulging in and upset. I'll always keep it real with you, homie. I had to go to God. Going to God isn't enough. We got to take action and make the contract and move forward and say, first it started with, I'm not going to watch porn anymore. I stopped watching porn, but I kept jerking off for a month or two. And then I said, no, I can't freaking jerk off because I'm just thinking about the porn scenes that I was watching a month or two ago or whatever it was, or these freaking drugged out fantasies that I had or what. I said, this isn't how, I can't keep jerking off. I'm done. I'm freaking done, dude. And I met God. I made a contract. I said, I'm done. The last time I did it, I freaking took Excelsior. I couldn't fall asleep, and I freaking was willing to do anything to get rid of that feel. I said, I'm never doing this again. Never freaking again. I never looked back, and I can't tell you how amazing it feels. So just remember, man, Absolutely, it's bad for your gains because it's bad for your. We want to be the sharpest, closest to God, closest to who we are to the core that we can possibly be. And we can't do that if we're indulging in every little pleasure we see that gets us further and further from God. That is bad for your gains. Spiritually, physically, it's bad for we're putting our drive and energy towards negative stuff that we could be putting it towards productive, motivational, helping others, building our passions, building ourselves, building our muscles, whatever the heck it is. Absolutely, it's bad for your gains. Sex, depending on your relationship with God, could be bad for your gains too. That's between, you know how it feels when you're sleeping with random women that you're not committed to or you're not in a relationship. To me, that's going to be bad for my gains. That's going to take me away from who I am to the core, and that's going to leave me less sharp, less driven, less motivated, less spiritual, further from God, blocked from my true self. Closer to my true self is being committed. If I'm having sex in a committed relationship and I'm clear with God on it, and I know in my heart I'm not doing anything wrong, then that's between me and God. That is. I mean, but this is my opinion, homie. That's what I got for you. So sex bad for gains, is it worth it? Absolutely. Jerking off in porn, infidelity, all that, not worth it, homie. Not worth it at all. Definitely not worth it. And this is an unpopular opinion. I know it's cooler in society to say porn is normal and this and that. I don't think so, man. I'm a spiritual dude, and I don't like doing things that aren't spiritual. I like being a positive light to the world and motivating people to do better. So let me know what you think in the comments, man. I think it's an important topic, especially with us men. Not cool in today's society to say I'm with one woman and that's it, and I don't watch porn, I don't jerk off. That's unpopular. That's not cool. We got to stand up as men and freaking strong, driven dudes, man. Freaking, you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I stand for a spiritual life that gets me closer to God and who I am to the core. I hope you're feeling that. God bless all of you together. Let's get this dang muscle. I'm out.